if I was going to try to build something from scratch, I would be realistic about it, and I would first start with the only goal in mind was to make it a viable live event. And what I mean by that is the gate has to cover the expenses of the show, right? Just looking at those two numbers, the expenses to do a show, the person, the production, and everything that goes with it, of course, and the gate, what's my return? And if those numbers didn't make sense, I would stop right there. But if they did make sense, I would continue, and I would hopefully be able to establish it as a viable live event. Now, that would probably involve geographic touring, right? Where you're staying in the same home buildings in a relatively small area so that you can bubble up geographic interest and hopefully probably use fighters from that area as well. So you're always pulling from the locals. You're always promoting hometown guys or girls. So that is how I would do it. I would look, and this is ass backwards from what everyone else wants to do and fails, but I would look at television partners as something that's secondary. I would work to build to that. Everyone wants a great broadcast partner, but TV rights usually don't pay very much. It's more about marketing and publicity. So you build the show as a live event on a regional basis. You hook in some television, again, same thing on a regional basis. You hope that through social media, through the web, you're able to spread it in that way, right? So you don't try to lean on your broadcast partner or your potential pay-per-view, which we haven't gotten to, but you try to build it grassroots and you try to build it from a logical, reasonable standpoint. I think what ends up happening with most of these organizations is they have grandiose ideas and they think they can pull it off. And then once they start to get into the minutia of it, they realize that it's just not viable. I told you about the story when Fabiano Iha called me after I got fired from the UFC. Iha called me because he had some friends, boxing money, Don King money. They wanted to get into MMA. They wanted to do XYZ, big, bigger, biggest, and they brought me out to, hear their pitch and make them a budget. And before I even got into the numbers with them, I said, guys, are you ready to lose millions of dollars? And they said, no. And I said, well, then this is the wrong business for you, man. And that they would never heard from again, and I never heard from them